Upsetting time for supporters of Manchester United. A power struggle in the boardroom, a lack of success in the league despite big signings. So today's cup tie highly significant and hugely important for the club. For Brian Clough and his Nottingham Forest team, the start of another road which he hopes might end at last in success in the FA Cup, the major trophy that has always eluded him. In his 33rd year as player and manager, will it be his cup year at last? Well, the clubs met in the competition last season in the 6th round at Old Trafford. This was the Forest goal on that occasion.
And he's trick shot. Parker! A goal for the Forest! Gary Parker!
Manchester United thought they'd scored in the match too, but the referee thought otherwise.
Leclerc off the line! And the referee superbly placed to see. And the United players say it went over, and Brian Hill says no, and you couldn't argue with its positioning.
Will United get their revenge today and keep their season alive? We're about to see. Plus, we'll have the best goals from yesterday's ties. And at the end of today's match, the draw live for round 4. Good afternoon, welcome to the City Ground. Conditions perfect for what we hope will be an excellent cup tie this afternoon. The unhappy news for Manchester United is that England captain Brian Robson will not play in this match. He's here with the squad, but he'll take no part. He's still not fit. Now, Jimmy Hill, the words crucial and crisis are being used as far as this match is concerned for United and, of course, their manager, Alex Ferguson. What do you feel about that?
Well, I don't think that's any help to the club whatsoever. I think that puts added pressure on them at the most difficult time with massive injuries and all their other problems. I think the very haste and the enthusiasm of their supporters cannot help the club at times. I think it's forced a succession of managers into spending money to try and bring them what they've been looking for so long, that success in the league and maybe in the cup. And it's that each manager has tried to fulfil those dreams of the supporters too quickly. It didn't work when Laurie McMenemy went to Sunderland. It hasn't really worked at the moment when Terry Venables went to Spurs. He made some hurried buys and now really is sort of thinking at leisure of how he's going to reshape what he's done. So it can be helpful. They're wonderful supporters, but it puts a pressure on which doesn't help. And I think it's no help today to that team to have those kind of sort of messages for the future. The manager's going to go. Right. It isn't going to help.
But Forest favourites today?
I think they are now that Brian Robson is not playing. I have a sneaking feeling that United would avoid defeat, but not without their skipper. And just the way they're kicking in, I don't know if it's my imagination, but they almost looked as if they lacked a sense of purpose in some way. They don't look like a side who's come here to do a job.
OK, we're about to see what happens. Let's now join Trevor Brooking and Barry Davis.
Well, let's first of all check on the two lineups. Nottingham Forest, not surprisingly, stick with the side which came back from 2 down against Liverpool on New Year's Day. But their home form, to tell the truth, has been a little mixed. They've won 4, drawn 3 and lost 3 in the league. Nigel Jemson is going to be a player to watch, I'm sure. He still keeps out the club's top scorer, Lee Chapman. And really looking at the Manchester United line-up, really makes one note the names missing. Apart from Brian Robson, Paul Ince, Danny Wallace and, of course, Neil Webb. And if you work that out in financial terms, I suppose it's got to be something around £5 million worth of talent missing from Alex Ferguson's side. I'm sure that we're going to see Brian Leclerc, not in his usual role up front, but dropping back a little bit, which means that Mark Robbins will play alongside Mark Hughes as a front two. Conditions very good. I walked on the pitch a few moments ago, and it's a great deal drier than it was for the match against Liverpool. The man in charge this afternoon is Lester Shapter of Torquay. Man who's been to Wembley in the League Cup final, Arsenal against Liverpool. He's one of the senior citizens among the referees and has yet to be given the chance of doing the FA Cup final. comes the man in the green sweater, although at the moment it's covered by a pretty healthy anorak. Man of 1,001 games, 1,001 delights, one might say, as the manager. Well, they may not have all been delightful, but at least all have had a story to tell. And we're waiting for the two captains to be called forward. Gives me a chance to identify the two linesmen. Mike Taylor from St Albans, that's the flag with the red trim, and Rob Harris from Oxford with the yellow trim. Captaining Manchester United, Steve Bruce, and the Nottingham Forest captain, Stuart Pearce. Well, with this man driving them, I'm sure that United will not lack determination in spite of the absence of Brian Robson. Stuart Pearce, I think Stuart only knows one way to play, and that's wholeheartedly. It sometimes gets him into trouble, but still, I think, holding off the challengers for his left-back spot in the international side. Well, the teams are going to change ends, so an opportunity for a few words from Trevor Brooking before the kick-off.
Well, I suppose the main talking point has to be Brian Robson. He was very disappointed. I spoke to him before the game. It really, they say, he was really in the Liverpool game, but he did it in training a couple of days beforehand and aggravated it, and he said it's not made much improvement at all. And although the pitch is better than it was on New Year's Day, it is going to cut up, and if you've got a groin injury, there's no way you can get away with it in this sort of cup tie. So it'll be very important for Manchester United to be positive and sort of not think about the injuries, but really go into the game expecting to get a result rather than fearing the worst.
Well, we do need a ball to play with, and at the moment we haven't got one. Referee is full of smiles, but the start certainly greatly delayed here. And it strikes me that we're only a week into 1990, but the comment Happy New Year, the wish Happy New Year, will ring a little hollow for the losing manager here. So much for Alec Ferguson under such great pressure, much of it supplied by the media. And Brian Clough, who, as Desmond Lynham said, has never won the FA Cup. Goes back to 1955-56 when he started as a player with Middlesbrough. Forest in red, United in white. Here's McClare, starting off from the left side of midfield. Steve Hodge. It's a good challenge. Brian Laws didn't really get it away cleanly. Here's McClare again. Disappointing pass from him. First foray forward by Pearce. But not a good pass to Jemson. Hodge, Pearce. Came off Steve Chettle. Viv Anderson returning to the ground where his career was started. Another blind by Crosby. The pass is going astray in the early stages here. Jemson. It's taken him 21 months to come through since being bought from Preston. But he made his debut on Boxing Day and has made a very interesting start to his career in the first team with Forest. Steve Sutton. McClare's header. Robbins to chase. Walker the cover man. No problem. Won by Anderson. McClare. Beardsmore, Martin makes the run forward for him. It's a good one, and a good challenge by Steve Hodge. Robbins to take it. And Anderson comes forward. Didn't actually get a touch to it. Came off Pallister and was a good save. Pallister's header. Hodge, Clough, Parker, Jemson. No chance of doing anything with that. It's a nervous start, there's no doubt about that. McClare has seen more of the ball than anybody else. And used it better than most too. It's a good header by Laws.
McClare, in fact, is going to play alongside Michael Phelan in the centre, so he is really going to replace Brian Robson's role, and they're playing Russell Beersmore wide on the left, and of course Phelan will be keeping an eye really on Stevie Hodge. That's a crucial confrontation in the midfield.
And maybe a contest for a place in the England squad. It's a foul by Hodge. Anderson was a little bit sharp to claim the ball. Whether the whistle actually had gone before he handled it. Clough. Orlickson. Iceland's Player of the Year last year. Oh, that was a pretty strong challenge by Beardsmore. And the referee has penalised him. Much of a threat in the middle at the moment. Clough is well outnumbered. Hodge. Never really looked like keeping it down. Stevie Hodge. Scored in 3 of the last 4 matches, Steve Hodge. And he's been in very good nick indeed. Had the first 5 minutes. Really neither side has settled down in any way yet. Robbins, Hughes. Carried by Parker. Found some help from Anderson. This is Clayton Blackmore. Phelan and Walker. Good play by the more experienced of the 2 England men in contention then. With Anderson, he was an apprentice here and made nearly 350 appearances in the Nottingham Forest shirt. Orlickson. A little loose stuff being played, that's offside. Against Lee Martin. Was enough to get the crowd to their feet down that side though. Mark Hughes finding a different partner, and it's been one of the problems that he and McClare haven't really hit it off up front together. You've got to go back to the first match of the season to find a match in which both Hughes and McClare scored for United. Parker trying to get Hodge away. Pallister across. Offside by about the width of the Trent, I would say. And offside at the other end too against Hughes. City ground certainly well peopled. And so far, the sand on the pitch doing its job. Chase for Clough, I think, will be fruitless. 2 offsides and a wasted free kick. It certainly hasn't settled down yet.
Unusual to see Nottingham Forest sort of play the long ball like that. They do like to pass it through the midfield and into Nigel Clough's foot, really, where he dictates where it goes from there. And at the moment, really, a settling down period for both sides.
Leighton, the goalkeeper, like Alec Ferguson, really trying to re-establish his reputation. Bruce. Hughes took it well, under pressure from Walker. And there was no other route for him. Easy for Walker. Jemson. A little bit slow. Change of ball. Position of the throw, incidentally, being dictated by the referee between the two 18-yard lines and by the linesman between the 18-yard lines and the goal line. James was a little late, and the free kick is given against Hughes. Jemson the furthest forward for Forest. Crosby down the left touchline. It's Clough. Parker trying to play it early for Jemson. Pallister's head up. Bruce. Martin certainly took his eye off it for a moment. Phelan needs support left side. Good chase. Never looked likely to be successful. Russell Beardsmore. Clough and Bruce. McLean. Anderson. Competitive challenge by Pearce, and the judge the foul. Did rather launch himself like some guided missile intent on puncturing the ball. And we've had 10 minutes and frankly not too much to report as yet, but it's early days. Free kick way short from Blackmore. It's Parker. Forest throw. Clough. Cut out by Blackmore, 2 against 2 for a moment. Safety first. United arrived at the City Ground on a run of 8 matches since their last win. 4 draws, 4 defeats. Forest have had 2 wins and 2 draws in their last 4, but they seem to be affected by the urgency and lack of confidence of Manchester United. Certainly their start nothing like as good as it was against Liverpool. Jemson. Should be no way. He really hit it cleanly, Pearce. Jemson. Eriksen, just too wide of Clough. There was a semblance of a threat there. Won by Pearce. Pallister. Hughes, nice knee trap again, or thigh trap. Oh, made himself some space too well. Challenged by Walker. This is Parker, the man whose goal decided the quarter-final between these two last season. Beardsmore taking over the number 7 for the injured Brian Robson. Hughes. Martin. It's a bit loose. Oh, that's a fine save. Robbins took it very swiftly. Forest at 6s and 7s for a moment. It was a good turn, not the best of challenges, but a very good save by Steve Sutton. Anderson's come forward to the 6-yard area. That's Pallister, and that's easy.
Well, the best opening so far, and probably Brian McClare running in, facing the goal, might have wanted the shot himself, but it was a good turn in a tight situation. And the first time, really, either side's managed to get the ball out wide, and I think you've got to do that with conditions as they are.
Here's Orlickson wide for Forest. Jemson. Pallister's clearance, which Laws makes rather better than it was. Jemson shooted that superbly from Phelan. This is Parker. Crosby waiting on the left side, well left by Clough. Things are looking up. Crosby needs help. Pearce behind him. Early in, looking for the return from Clough, which he didn't get. Good cover by Parker. And a useful ball to Hodge. Jemson far post coming in. Orlickson further over. Corner. We reached the 15th minute of the match, which has now come to life, it would seem. This is Crosby. Nice dummy. Blackmore who cleared. Doesn't see much of the ball yet, Crosby, but it's to the benefit of Forest if he does. Probably of all the players on the pitch, he's most capable of offering the width that Trevor Brooking was talking about. Clough. Wrestled out of it by Bruce, and unfairly caught him on the back of the ankle slightly, according to the referee. This is Brian Laws. Parker. Laws again. It's a corner. Toddy Orlickson. It's his nickname for a rather lengthy Christian name. We'll take it. Hodge. Pallister's header. Acrobatics was by Beardsmore. Oh dear. The recipient of the words is the referee. Conversation still goes on, and seem to be fairly pleasant. Good contest between Hodge and Phelan. And Jemson gets away for a second from Pallister, who recovers well, initially untidily, and then with some nifty footwork. Too happy with the support around him, if one judges that expression and comment correctly. Hughes. Good kick against Hughes. And the referee, I think, will have a quick word. Oh dear, that wasn't the best of challenges. Referee wants to talk to Hughes, who lives up to his nickname of Sparky.
I think he was a bit fired up because it was him and Gary Pallister who were having the argument beforehand. Mark Hughes wanted it over the top and Gary Pallister played it in short, and I think he took it out on the Nottingham Forest player there.
Stays in. And Jemson picks out Clough, who doesn't get hold of it. Here's Crosby. Oh, crucial touch by Anderson, but it came last off Crosby, and is a goal kick. Amazingly, it stayed in. It wasn't the best of crosses. Clough didn't get hold of it, but Anderson just nicked it away off Crosby, and it's a goal kick.
There's Crosby, knowing he was very close there. How often does a miss-hit shot like Nigel Clough's end up with a goal? On that occasion, Viv Anderson kept his head very well. I'm quite relieved that she didn't get a goal kick, let alone a corner.
I think it was here first, Trevor. They used to talk about his elastic legs. They served him well then. Well, certainly had a charmed life down the right touchline. Pallister with the free kick. Hughes and Pearce. Hughes got wrong side for a moment. Pearce got wrong side, I mean, for a moment. Walker. Crosby and Phelan. "20 minutes gone, no score, and certainly the match has improved in the last 5 minutes, and it's certainly competitive. Free kick against Bruce for a challenge from behind.
I would think one more from Steve Bruce on Nigel Clough and he'll end up in the book, because that's the second or third occasion now.
Laws. Parker might have let that run, but it's easy to say that from up here. Laws. Pearce. Crosby. Free kick. Forest have pushed Chettle forward alongside Clough and Jemson and Hodge and Orligson. Those are the Forest players in the 18-yard area. Pearce will take it. I don't think anybody had any doubt about that. It's curling. Needed a good save. It was much, much closer to Leighton than he surely would have anticipated. But he was equal to it. Phelan. Well, they needed a good save, and I suspect that Jim Leighton had to move his feet back a little bit. Yes, he did indeed. Didn't get it over the top, just got it away to his left. I think the pulse will probably be back to normal now. The goalkeeper.
It's not his strongest part of his game, I don't think, Jim Leighton on crosses, and that one he started to come for a good cross, but in fact it turned out from Stuart Pearce's point of view almost to be one, but really it was too near the goalkeeper, but he'd anticipated one.
Basically, the best two chances so far have come from things that didn't quite go right. First Clough and then Pearce. Hodge. Very, very sharp in the middle of the field. Having a good phase in the middle of the season, Stevie Hodge. Finding the sort of form that he showed in the World Cup. People rather forget his contribution in the World Cup, not least against Argentina, and one of the best tackles of the tournament on Maradona. Anderson. Alistair and Jemson. Jemson hasn't seen too much of it yet. But then he didn't in the first half against Liverpool. Did very much in the second. Won by Hughes. Seen very quickly by Walker. A long run for Orlickson. The back heel actually wasn't quite as strong as might have been hoped. And in the end, thought he had too much to do. By Chettle. Alistair. Not too much movement. Chettle watching Hughes. Walker watching Robbins. Laws with Beardsmore. Hughes certainly felt that. Jemson, the long legs of Panister. When Jemson shields the ball, Panister's managing to get round and get hold of the ball. Well, won by Parker. This is Laws, Orlickson to his right, everybody else left. Cross with the left, back by Clough. Corner conceded by Anderson. Hughes, meantime, has recovered quickly. Hodge coming for the short one. Quite a queue on the 6-yard line. Parker! Well, he hit it hard enough, but he hit it wide. 3 players on the 6-yard line there. When it came out, urgently forward, but rocketing it wide. Defenders move out. Whoops. We'll tell you how the cameraman feels in a minute. Parker. Crosby. Hodge is offside. Determined challenge by Panister. And it's 0-0 here at the City Ground, Nottingham, and that's the position in the other 2 cup ties being played. It's Port Vale against Derby County, Charlton against Bradford City.
Forest just beginning the last 10 minutes to get more on top. Manchester United finding it difficult to get forward as an attacking force, and once you allow Nottingham Forest to start to dominate, really Hodgson in the midfield along with Parker, the 2 that are starting to feed their forwards.
This is Hughes. They've got a man over. Clayton Blackmore, number 8. 4 running left. And Chettle will be very happy that that curled away. He just flashed the left foot at it. Could have gone anywhere. Blackmore suddenly finding a bit of space with 4 colleagues running to his left. Anderson up again on the 6-yard line, around the near post. Bruce gets up as well. And Jemson suddenly had far more time than he should have had. Chance of a break here if it's played early. And if it had been played well, both Aldickson and Crosby might have been clear. Instead, Martin turns it to his advantage. Bruce. The United supporters in that area of the ground. Another corner. Corner number 3 for United. They've all been taken by Mark Robbins on that side. Bannister on the near post. Too high for him. Another corner. Came off Chettle, I think. Anderson's pulled further back this time. In he comes now with Bruce, who is behind the goalkeeper. He wasn't challenged. Ball given. So the referee taking the position. The throw has to be in line with where he's standing. That's what he told the teams before the match. Between the two 18-yard areas. Pearce had to be a bit hasty, and the referee didn't like the challenge of Blackmore. Blackmore ends it all, and we've had the first half an hour of this contest, and that's the position of Port Vale. Trevor Hibbert has given Derby County the lead. Parker, just a moment then when he played it but he didn't want to. Philosophical about the challenge from Hughes.
He's just letting him know that he's supposed to be going for the ball, eh?
Actually, Mark Hughes is a very good definition of aggression, isn't he? Leclerc gave impetus to the attack. Again, 4 to the left. Again, a poor ball in. Poor ball out too. Leclerc's shot. Phelan too short from Anderson. And Anderson furious really at the lack of quality all round then. Bannister. It's better. Beardsmore in possession, Blackmore to the right, 2 to the left. They actually had a man over for a moment, United. Crosby resists the challenge of Beardsmore, but where's he going? Hodge. The boss's son. Laws. Aldickson on the touchline. 7 involved in this attack. This is Parker. Trying to find a goalkeeper off his line as the United defence backed away from him.
The final ball has been pretty poor with both sides, particularly the last 5 minutes. Manchester United, 2 or 3 good crossing opportunities, although to be fair to Clayton Blackmore wide on the right, it's not his favourite position, and at the moment he's being asked to play out there.
Here comes Pearce. That's what you call a strong header. Hughes. Free kick. This time it was in Hughes' favour. Inevitably with the teams struggling. Goal scoring has been a problem for United. Failed to score in 12 of the season's 24 matches, and that includes 4 of the last 5. Anderson is forward, so was Bruce. That was McClare. Oh, might have been again if Bruce hadn't got in his way. Hughes. Trying to bore his way through. And having a passing word with the linesman. Too often makes the tea at home. That's nowhere near the china, I would think, Mark Hughes. Taken quickly and taken well. This is Beardsmore. They were asleep for Forest. Just didn't fall right for Hughes. Anderson. Phelan. Blackmore. Looking for Hughes. And Sutton deciding to fingertip it away for the corner in front of his own face. Then Bannister near post. Gets the back flick. This is Bruce. That's a good save and a foul by Bruce. Bruce saw the goal yawning and was so eager. But he was way off the ground when he made contact with the goalkeeper. But it's the first time, I think, that they've got a knock-on for the player coming up. Up comes Bruce, number 4, and the arms were up. Certainly a foul, and look at the excellent positioning of the referee.
Yeah, it was a foul. Gary Pallister is the one who flicks it on. He just gets probably a bit too much height, so you've got to wait for it to come down, and there, the hand up first. Definitely a free kick, but Forest must be very conscious not to give too many corner kicks and free kicks away, because there's no doubt with Pallister, Anderson and Bruce, they have got an aerial advantage, United, and certainly the last few minutes they've crept back into the game, and still both sides waiting for the breakthrough.
We've had 5 corners from that side, United. It's probably the best one yet. Flag is up on the far side for offside. No lack of enthusiasm from United supporters who have had to put up with a lot this season, and by no means all of it from their team, who've also had to live with the problems in the boardroom over which they have absolutely no control or say. Especially tough for the manager, Alex Ferguson. Jemson, Clough, Laws, stopped by McClare, cleared by Bruce. It's a great ball over the top, but Jemson is never looked like getting ahead of his marker, but what an excellent pass by Des Walker. Off the head of McClare. Another chance for Ulrichsen to cross it, which he does. Nobody looked too comfortable on that, and it brushed from Ulrichsen past the waiting Nigel Clough. Clough, who's really not been able to provide the focal point of Forest play, which he does so often. Well taken by Hughes. And the danger well spotted by Hodge. But another corner for Robbins to drop in on the near post, the right one as we look from the camera behind the goal, for a flick on which will, if best, be rather flatter for the oncoming player. Anderson couldn't get through the crowd. Chance of a break here for Forest. Crosby. They're getting back in numbers now, United. The impetus was lost really on the first ball, and they get a free kick when they shouldn't have. Untidy challenge by Blackmore. All he had to do was to force Crosby to hold that area. Clough didn't control it. Leclerc. Robbins wide to the left. Hughes the other way. Robbins not sure whether to come short or go. I'm afraid that was the result, because McClare wasn't sure whether to play it through or short. Linesman right up. United crowd appealing for the corner. Not given. That's the score from Selhurst Park. Brian Timian has scored from the penalty spot to give Bradford City the lead over Charlton Athletic. This is Crosby. That's nice. This is Jensen. Well claimed. And Blackmore well placed. Another gaunt expression of Jim Leighton. And we move into the last 5 minutes of the first half. Still no score. Goals in the other two, but not in this one at the moment. Misplaced by Phelan. Laws.
Well, with what, 3 or 4 minutes of the first half to go, that really little move there just about sums up, I suppose, the quality of the football in the first half. It's not been very good. It's both sides a little bit tense, the final ball being given away. The crossing has been very poor, and it's meant that both goalkeepers are being quite comfortable throughout the first half.
First time Jemson's been able to turn a run onto the ball. Clough not able to get the pass through to Crosby. Seems to me, Trevor, that the tension that United must feel has affected the play of Forest just as much.
I think United have just tried to make sure they work very hard, keep it tight, particularly in midfield. You know, Michael Phelan's very conscious as Siege Hodge runs forward. And then Nigel Clough in particular hasn't been allowed to get back in the game. And of course, Pallister and Bruce keeping things very tight, but they've never got men forward, United, and so it's been a stifling game with few chances either end.
Hodge. Caught in possession, Hughes. The angle was always against him, and McClare looks across and says, "Why didn't you see me?" But I suppose that's by no means the first time a player has looked at Mark Hughes and asked, "Why didn't you look up at me?"
They give him the benefit of the doubt that he was actually shooting. I'm not sure, he waved across, I'm not sure if he was thinking about crossing it and got caught in two minds and did nothing, but it was certainly no danger to the goal, that's for sure.
Robbins. This is McClare. Didn't really have support, which is why he turned. Blackmore. Hughes. Square is Anderson. Forward was Phelan. Covering was Hodge. Very tidily indeed. Won by Anderson. Pallister. Suddenly all United bar Jim Leighton are in the Forest half. Too tight down the middle when they had a player wide. Clough. taking it away from the pudding of the middle. Good pace here from Laws. Orlickson to the right, Jemson down the middle. Mind to be made up. Three waiting. This is Orlickson. Did he hold it in? Yes, according to the referee. No, he didn't. The linesman says corner, and I must say, I think the linesman was right. Seemed to me that he slipped on the surface and took the ball out, Jim Leighton. Didn't reach Clough because Bruce was there. Into the last minute of the half. Walker finds Crosby. Anderson invites him to go down the line where Blackmore is, and then Anderson just cuts off the attack before it even reached the prime. Pearce. Offside against Jemson. United have pushed up very flat indeed. About some 20 yards or so from the halfway line. Just a question now what Mr. Shapper is allowing for the odd stoppage. Coming to the end of a half in which neither side really has done itself justice. More understandable for United perhaps than for the home team, Forest. A wrestling match between Robbins and Walker. Free kick against Hodge. Probably the last chance of the half for someone to do something productive. Opened by Martin, met by Walker. Phelan. Hughes. Thought about the shot slightly earlier, found the cross, which was not a bad one, if slightly close. But the half comes to an end with a blank score sheet, 0-0.
Well, it's pretty unclear which of these two teams will be going into the live draw for the fourth round later, Jim. I suppose honours even in that first half.
Yeah, strangely, United, I said to start with, came out with a little bit of fear, I thought, and they had no sense of purpose, but Forest also were a little unsure of themselves, so it's two teams trying to find their feet, and the first one to do it is going to be in the draw at the end of the programme.
Right, we'll have some more thoughts on that first half in a moment or two, but of course there were some great cup ties yesterday, outstanding goals, some good goalkeeping and upsets. Let's have a look back at some of those moments now.
There were a lot of mud-stained goalkeepers around the country yesterday. Aston Villa's Nigel Spink was one who contributed to the high proportion of either-ors in today's draw for the fourth round. Villa were away to Blackburn Rovers. They're the team in blue and white, and Spink made a vigorous contribution to a tie full of incident and excitement.
Daly. Oh, he skipped past Sully. Three waiting in the centre for Aston Villa. On the goal! And Spink, oh! A goal! But what's the referee given? Spink dropped it, Sellers collided with him, and a free kick was given. Stapleton, goal! Blackburn have equalised. Nielsen, oh, and in Norman Royd! Off the post and in, and the big lad's got it. Reed, Sellers flick. Nielsen's header out. Back in by Miller. Stapleton's there. Oh, it's been deflected and it's gone in! Scott Sellers had the shot. There was a deflection, but it's 2-2.
In nearly 12 years with Stoke City, Peter Fox has won many games for them. He was doing well again yesterday against Arsenal, until this.
Quinn finally breaks the deadlock.
By comparison with Fox, Swansea's Lee Bracey is a 21-year-old novice, but he kept cup holders Liverpool at bay.
It's come right through here to Rush. Rush has laid it off for Nicol, and a beautiful touch over from Lee Bracey. And McMahon had kept running and could make it. Bracey got his body in the way and was entitled to the luck the second time.
Last year, it was Sutton United. This year, it was Northampton. Steve Berry came in at the near post, out went Coventry City. Shock of the round victims for the second successive season. And you could tell it was the third division side who won by the celebrations. Cans of lager, not bottles of champagne. Southampton wouldn't want their victory at Tottenham called a shock, but that's how it seemed to Spurs. Matthew Le Tissier scored the first. Barry Horn made it 2-0. David Howell's reply for Tottenham was the most spectacular goal of the game. But after Bobby Mims had saved Le Tissier's header, Rod Wallace sealed it for the Saints. West Bromwich Albion beat Wimbledon by pace, according to the losers' manager Bobby Gould. Don Goodman's pace for the first. Gary Robson with a typical family flourish at the finish. The second goal came from Kevin Bartlett's pace and another positive shot. Out go the cup winners of 2 seasons ago. Brighton had gone 4 games without a goal until Luton arrived, managerless and seemingly low in morale. From 2-1 down, they just crumbled. Robert Cotton made it 3-1. Alan Kirbishley's second of the season completed a happy afternoon for Brighton. Luton may feel it can't get worse. They'll find out next Saturday. They're at Anfield. Not the best of weeks for Lou Macari either. The FA are going to investigate allegations of betting on his former club Swindon. His present team, West Ham, went out to Torquay United. Substitute Paul Hiron scored with virtually his first kick. The smile that lit up Dave Smith's face at the end suggested that 5th from bottom of the 4th division wasn't such a burden after all. Lyndon Jones had a funny old day for Reading against Sunderland. It wasn't amusing when his slip let in Gordon Armstrong to score and the game not a minute old. But an hour later, along came Jones to equalise. It was nearly 10 months since he'd last scored, but having remembered how, he waited no more than 5 minutes to do it again. The Watford fans were growing impatient with not much more than a quarter of an hour left and their tie with Wigan goalless. Glenn Roeder set a captain's example to remedy that. Then Glyn Hodges scored less than 2 minutes later. No celebrations on the pier last night. Give a club a Mickey Mouse name and nothing surer than they'll sprout nose and ears to justify it. But Rochdale turned the joke back on Whitley Bay's Bobby Graham. Steve Johnson, who seems to have been around almost as long as Mickey Mouse, rubbed it in with the only goal. Who's the Mickey Mouse Club now? But Darlington kept a non-league presence in today's draw, and only Cambridge United's crossbar kept out David Cork's header. They'll replay in the northeast on Tuesday. The Football League's leading goal scorer is Darren Rowbottom of Exeter City. He was under scrutiny against First Division Norwich City.
Neville. Rowbottom got away from his man well, and again Gunn has to make another save. Rowbottom manages to turn. Butterworth finds Neville, who also has space to turn. Rowbottom! Oh, what a goal! Unbelievable! Well, now, what can Norwich produce in these last 4.5 minutes? Bowen. Flick! Oh, it's one apiece! Oh, dear! Miller looks in dismay, and what a disappointment that is for the home team.
1-1 at the end meant that the Exeter fans, who were all dressed up, still had somewhere to go, to Carrow Road on Wednesday for the replay.
Jerry Sinstadt with yesterday's roundup. Just to confirm the other half-time scores today and the two other ties being played today. Port Vale 0, Derby 1, Trevor Hebbard in 34 minutes, and Charlton 0, Bradford 1, Brian Tinian a penalty in 44 minutes. No goals here, of course, between Forest and Manchester United. Brian Robson not playing for United today. He's talking now with Tony Gubber.
Brian, it's not hard to detect the nerves out there today. It's an important game for both teams, but particularly United.
Well, I think it's like you say, it's an important game for both teams. But it's a typical game between two big clubs, you know, there's not much given away, you know, and it's a tough game.
Of the chances there's been, perhaps United might feel they've had the better to score?
Yeah, I think we've been a bit unfortunate on a few of our set plays. The ball just hasn't bounced kindly for us. Otherwise, we could maybe have scored one.
We've seen this match build up as the beginning, the end of Manchester United's season if they don't get through. Is that the way the players see it?
Yeah, well, I think it's a big game for us, just that we're towards the bottom of the league. And so when you're looking at a realistic chance of the championship, you know, realistically, we're a bit out of that race at the moment. So the FA Cup is the big one that we've got to aim for.
Yeah. How conscious are the players of that sort of pressure that's been around this game today, and perhaps on the manager?
Yeah, the lads are, but I mean, the manager's been great this week. He's kept as much pressure off the lads as he possibly could. And the lads went out into the game fairly relaxed, you know, and they were looking forward to it.
Do you see United getting through?
I certainly hope so. I think the fans that have turned down here today have supported us great, and we deserve to give them something.
Thanks so much, Brian.
Thanks very much.
Well, Port Vale have just got something. They've got a goal. It's 1-1 against Derby now. Darren Beckford has got the equaliser just after the kick-off of the second half. It's Port Vale 1, Derby 1, the latest score. Let's go straight now here to the second half. It's all yours, Barry.
Leicester Shepter making his way out to the middle to continue the proceedings. He's been full of smiles all the way through, but the game hasn't quite matched them, I don't think, as yet. Alan Ball was talking yesterday about first half teams feel each other out. I think that in this case both teams have been trying to find themselves. Early touch for Jim Leighton. Very deliberate clearance. No free kick given. Taken by Hughes, and here's a chance for Robbins. He delayed when he surely should have not have done so, and an opportunity goes away. Hughes needed to be in two places then, both carrying the ball and there for the shooting chance, though in my opinion he was a little bit lucky to get away with being allowed to go on with the ball in the first place. Pallister, slight change.
One of those chances, Mark Robbins, if he'd have played in the reserves, he'd have hit it instinctively, because you're in the first team, big cup tie, you try and be too precise and it runs away from you.
Parker looks for Clough. They got a man over if it came the other way, but it didn't. Walker. Give it to Viv Anderson. Used to better throw the ball some considerable distance, but doesn't need to there. To Blackmore, given away immediately. Feet were fairly high, and the free kick comes. Pearce. Parker did well. Blackmore. Good advantage play by Leicester Shapter. Hughes in possession. Telling start to the second half. Beersmore. It was a great ooh from the crowd, but I think Sutton knew that he was going to have plenty of time at the end. But useful start by Hughes. And a far better United attack. Mark Robbins to take the corner, Pallister to come to the near post. Anderson slightly further over. Hughes just wide of the left post, and Bruce trying to come in. Pallister got it. Anderson! It's a better save than the one before. Needed to be. We'll move that much more around the box. Good header by Anderson, but well tipped over. Pallister in the usual position. Anderson trying to find a gap. In comes Bruce. It's a good header out. And the free kick against Bruce.
Positive start, though, by Manchester United this second half. A good first header by Pallister, and Viv Anderson, just with his back to the goal, couldn't really get the power. But, you know, they've come out, pushed Nottingham Forest back, and a good start for them.
Free kick given against Bruce. Slightly awkward challenge by Clough. He came off rather the worse, except for the award of the free kick. Pearce placing it alongside Parker. I don't know whether he fancies a crack from here. Attack held up just on the 18-yard line. Clapp in the inside left position. Here comes Pearce. Off Pallister. Anderson leapt well. And the free kick is to United. Challenged by Pearce. Inquires about the health of Anderson, having inflicted the wound.
Always good tactics once you've clattered somebody, just to make sure they're all right. He hasn't lingered too long, considering Viv Anderson hasn't stirred much since being collided. But again, both sides must get it out wide, because the pitch, although it's played very well as compared with New Year's Day, it is sort of getting sort of a bit cloggy there in the middle, and they've got to play out wide. Particularly in Nottingham Forest, you see on that middle centre, what happens, even though it's a little bit dryish, it bobbles, and so you've got to get it in the wide positions where the grass is, and let people like Gary Crosby run at defenders. Gary Parker there is the man to switch it and give them the opportunity to cause those problems.
And firework going off in the background. But we're still waiting for real fireworks in the contest. Anderson clearly still feeling the knock. Pearce makes it his again. Blackmore. Ferguson now down on the bench on the left side. Celebrated his 48th birthday last week. I suspect in the last 7 weeks, while United have struggled to find a victory, he's aged a bit more than that. Offside against Jimson. noise is coming from the United supporters. Pallister underneath it, so was Chettle. Confident, useful header by Wallickson. Jemson struggled really to get into the match alongside Cloughie. They all appeal for it, of course. Clearly a Forest ball. Clough inside Bruce for a moment. And Jemson didn't look. Hodge had already made the run, and the ball went from whence Hodge had come. Good carry by Pallister. Challenge was fair. Certainly Hughes' on Walker was not. Parker. Wasted free kick, the ball initially given to a man who had two players of the opposition close to him. Oh, yeah, it's a terrible pass by Hughes. Parker, Clough, this is a chance. It's running a bit away. Just ran too much away from him. He couldn't get up there quickly enough. And the angle in the end was cut down. Hughes' mistake started it. That's a goal kick. I think it was a polite way of disagreeing by Nigel Clough. Up down the City ground from behind Jim Leighton's goal. Shot out of an evening sky. Chettle called for it, got it. Crosby nearly did too. Blackmore, Anderson goes forward. Not for long. Pearce. Hodge. Simply wild challenge by Blackmore. Great advantage played by the man in charge. Hodge. Jemson near post, got a little touch back to Clough. Surprised him. Play by McClare. Hughes trying to get away from Walker, and he has done so. Robbins getting into the area. Hughes did the difficult part well, and then for a moment showed too much of the ball to Walker. And Walker answered the invitation very promptly indeed. 10 minutes of the second half gone, and just signs that the teams are loosening their own personal chains. Phelan, seems to be a bit more room around the pitch. Parker. The quality of passing has to improve if a victory is to be gained. This is Crosby. Great challenge by Pallister. Crosby was looking for the challenge from behind, but the ball was cleanly won. Chase for Robbins. He's a calm lad, is Steve Sutton. Wallickson. Kept in by Martin. Hughes, he's got a lot of room. And here's Robbins. And did it get the deflection? Was it Robbins or Pearce? I think it may well have been the fullback. But Robbins for sure will claim it. Well kept in here by Martin. Hughes had more room than probably at any stage in the match. Just played it in. Robbins was unmarked. Pearce tried to come in on the far side. Definitely the goal scored by Robbins. The challenge was slightly from behind by Pearce. And really, Forest were totally asleep. Hughes was given room, and Robbins, the scorer, was not marked. Manchester United have a 1-0 lead. The goal in the 56 minutes. Robbins, who made his debut in the third round of the FA Cup last season in the 0-0 draw against Queen's Park Rangers, opens the scoring here. Clough almost got it through, but not quite. Robbins again. Never in 33 years for Brian Clough, and he must be thinking, oh no, not again. Comes to Clough, there's nobody in the middle. Well, it was a half attempt at committing suicide, but no one was there to put the dagger in. A substitution going to be made by Nottingham Forest. And they're going to pull off Brian Laws, judging by that number. And they're going to put on young Gary Charles. That's a defender for a defender. Here comes Brian Laws, replaced by a 19-year-old lad from London. Yet to have a handful of appearances, couple of substitute appearances this season. Here's a third. Corner is taken, well met by Bruce. Robbins, Pearce, Crosby, Clough, Pearce again, loses out to Blackmore. Robbins, he's onside, is Mark Hughes. Will it run for him? Oh, great challenge by Des Walker. Had to make about 15 yards then, Des Walker, and an angled run. Sutton slightly in two minds, and here's Beardsmore. Sort of position that Brian Robson would have loved. Well, let's look back again on the goal.
Poor Toddy Orlickson there, losing possession as he did against Liverpool for their second goal Monday. Great ball in, and it just bounced up nice. Mark Robbins, not very tall, and the pitch kind to him there, popped up in a little nudge, and it bounced in.
And here's Orlickson again. Jemson. Charles on the right side. Oh, he fooled them all, Jemson. Met by the head of Bruce. Promising comeback this by Forest. Parker. Clough. Pearce. Clough. Finds the wide man, Crosby. Came off Bannister. And I think that's the first time in the match that Nigel Clough has managed to make two passes precisely where he wanted them and found the wide man, Gary Crosby. He's never had the time or the space to control the Forest attack, but he did then. Clough on the line in front of Leighton. Out by Hughes. Parker, let it run. Waddington have come back to the defensive position. I sensed a certain anxiety there. That's Liam O'Kane coming out to rescue the ball. But the anxiety was with the United supporters, as Martin seemed to hesitate on the clearance. One by Phelan. Two ahead, one square. This is the square. McClare. Pierce goes over to Phelan. McClare. Walker wins it again. Crosby. Comes back to Phelan. Chettle. Parker. Charles. Looks to have a bit more pace than Brian Laws. And of course, offers a fresh and youthful pair of legs. Cut out by Walker when Robbins was hoping for number 2. Pierce. The boos have the tone of Old Trafford. Chettle was going nowhere then. Robbins. Beardsmore had made a run for him. It was intended for Lee Martin, who made a good run. Crosby. Clough with himself. United's free kick.
Gary Charles there is a sort of fleet-footed fullback. It's surprising he got Terry Wilson on the bench as well. When you go 1-0 down, I would have thought Brian Clough might have been happier to bring a forward on, but of course 2 defensive players on the bench means he had no option, really.
But you're really not suggesting that Brian Clough would do the obvious, are you? So often he does things which surprise people. So often over the years it's worked. Bruce, Pallister, Orlickson. Wasn't kept in.
There's Jemson, who had a very good second half against Liverpool, still unable to get in the game. And Orlickson down the right, the young Icelandic lad, has found it very difficult in the atmosphere to really settle down and play.
Bruce and Anderson both going forward. Bruce checking that Phelan stays back. Both taking a position on the far side. Anderson. No real reaction on Alec Ferguson's face, the most beleaguered manager in the game. The feelings must be rather different next to Liam O'Kane. Minutes of the second half gone, 25 minutes left. Nottingham Forest 0, Manchester United 1. Scorer, Mark Robbins. Second goal of the season, incidentally. Oh, that stayed a bit. Charles. He's a very confident young man. Chettle didn't really make it. Chettle has stayed down as the other number 5, Phelan, sets up the United attack. Early cross, covered by Walker. Had another fine game for Forest. Is that really emphasised? It was worthy of the Bobby Moores of this world. Or is that just Dayton? Chettle's still feeling the knock, but he's back on his feet. Alistair. Fooled his man completely. That's a lovely touch in by Robbins. Now he's got to battle a bit for it. Martin to help. 3 waiting for a cross. Oh, he's done well again. McClare could have been one of those that would have taken the net away from the posts. Here's Crosby. Jemson won't make it. Doesn't look as comfortable on the left side, Gary Crosby, for all that run, does he?
I'm surprised, because he's a naturally right-footed player, and there's a tendency to come inside, and of course it closes everything down. There's Nigel Jemson, who tried to get on the end of that pass. I think Terry Wilson, perhaps the other man on the bench, will have to come on shortly, because Manchester United are dominating at the moment. Bring him on in midfield and perhaps, I don't know, push Stevie Hodge up a bit more, but there has to be a change, because at the moment you can't see Forest getting back into it if they keep things as it is.
Robbins, fired by his goal. Hughes, fired all through. Blackmore. And there's Walker's timing of coming away to make the interception. It's holding Forest together at the back. Just suggested a comeback briefly with a couple of good passes from Clough, but it really was only brief. Won by Chettle. Sutton adjusting his position. Oh, golly, that was a great deal closer from Patterson than the goalkeeper surely thought. That was long cross. And Sutton seemed quite calm about the whole thing, but Patterson won it, and it just brushed over the top of the angle.
The much maligned Gary Pallister's had an excellent match. He and Stevie Bruce have combined very, very well and kept Jemson, and particularly Nigel Clough, very, very quiet so far.
Play by Parker. Jemson going for the head when on the chest might have been better for him, but probably was more difficult to do. Clough. Clough takes on 2, beats them. They're queuing up in the middle, but he couldn't find the pass that might have turned his skill into something on the score sheet. Minutes left here. And the other 2 matches, it's 1-1 between Port Vale and Derby, and Bradford City are beating Charlton at Selhurst Park by the only goal of that contest. McClare. A rare moment for Manchester United in recent weeks. Has to take any sort of sting out of the game. A rare advantage for them. No manager should be judged on one match, but it might be a result this which could transform United's season if it remains at 1-0. Martin. Forest crowd has gone a bit quiet too. Beardsmore took it well. Hodge just away from Blackmore. Robbins was the player who went into the 6-yard box. Nobody really came behind him. This is Parker carrying in the mud and was tripped as well. Charles. Given against Walker, about which he's not too pleased. Anderson starts to go forward. Leclerc with about 10 or 15 yards to move into. Blackmore's wide to the right, but not quite there. Referee wanting a word with Blackmore. Yes. Taken by Hodge. Clough. Charles. First time balls, but the last one was a poor one.
One small tactical switch. Looks like Gary Crosby is going to have a spell over on the right wing, and Orlickson gone wide on the left, just to give it a little bit of variation. Certainly a change was needed at somewhere on the pitch.
That's the other number 7, Beardsmore. Martin. Hughes. Into the gap again for Robbins. Quite as well as the previous occasion, and the goal came. Clough, it's more like his control, and that's Hodge. And this is Crosby. They were playing the offside and he wasn't. Good save, Jemson. Still well in play. Orlickson. It's a poor cross, really. Jemson! Well, they survive. Crosby catching the United back. Now look for Anderson here. He'll put his hand up in a minute and claim for offside. And clearly Crosby wasn't. Leighton came out well to parry. And Anderson got the foot in. And Orlickson finally getting the cross in, and Jemson on a tight angle as the ball came to him. Interesting that Leighton was in fact moving to his right, but the ball was wide of the posts from Jemson's viewpoint. Into the last quarter of an hour. One goal between the teams, scored for Robbins by Manchester United, for Manchester United. And if it stays that way, it will put the name of Manchester United in the draw for the 4th round, which will follow this contest live here on Match of the Day. Pallister looked very confident. You say that one England front player said to me that this fellow Pallister is the best ball-playing defender who'd played in the England team during his time there. The price tag on him certainly weighed heavily on his shoulders. £2.3 million. There's a lot to play for a developing player. He's had a good game today, and 1 or 2 recently, in spite of the results. Anderson. Good early touch by Hodge. Clough. Hodge didn't continue the run for some reason. Crosby comes back across the area, currently in the centre forward position. Room for the cross for Pearce. Goal kick. Pearce wins it. Clough. Hughes. McClare. Space on the left for Beardsmore. Early run by Martin. Walker across. Another fine challenge. The equaliser for Charlton Athletic at Selhurst Park by Andy Jones. 81 minutes. So 9 minutes left there at 1-1. There are 12 minutes left here at 0-1. Clough. Pallister alongside. Clough had to get hold of the ball. Now what about that? Clough appeals, the crowd appeal. Mr. Shapter looks in and walks away. Clough trying to get his foot round the ball to shield it from Pallister, because if he was going to go on, Pallister was always going to make the tackle. Clough had certainly fallen first, but the second challenge was a bit difficult, but I think the referee was right.
I think it was a good decision, and one of those situations where, you know, Nigel Clough, just an extra yard or two of pace, it would make such a difference to his all-round play.
Jemson. Hodge. It was a bit slow. That has often been the case. The ball has not been pushed around at pace the way that Forest can do it with the likes of Hodge and Jemson recently. It's a corner. I think, Trevor, when Brian Clough's team don't push the ball around in the way that he would wish, the lack of pace of his son is more obvious. Pearce with the cross, punched by Leighton, long distance, missed by Parker. Charles. Orlickson's cross, well claimed. The right foot there belonged to the manager, and I bet it's itching. And he scored almost as many goals as matches he played, Brian Clough. His team desperately in need of a goal from somebody here. Otherwise, yet again, he won't make it in the FA Cup. Here's Charles. Got deflected and is well claimed again.
Well, that's what they brought Gary Charles on, to make those forward runs in front of Orlickson, who's back on the right now. And Gary Crosby, though, is...
Good recovery by Bruce. The long ball met by